Welcome back, guys. We're on to this battleship versus battlecruiser, armoured cruiser versus armoured cruiser, and a destroyer battle. So it might be a little bit entertaining, but I can't imagine it being an exciting one. I'm just gonna get a couple of torpedoes spat at me by the destroyer, and that's about it, really. I honestly can't remember if the battlecruiser's got torpedoes or not. It looks like not. So yeah, not too difficult. So if you're ever struggling with your rear ships going too fast and snaking in a battle line or a follow line, more importantly, you're going to have to set his speed lower on purpose. So although it's already set at 30, I find that if you manually set it at 30, then it doesn't increase the speed. Though I could be wrong, because look, as you can see, he's increasing his speed even though he's set for 30. So we can test that out, see if it works. So select everybody, and then that's manually set them now. So let's keep an eye on this to see if this speed ever rises above 30. Because what usually happens is they get close, then they try and evade, they slow down like he is doing now, but then they try and speed back up again to join in the line correctly. But then they speed back up, like you see here now, he's speeding back up. They speed back up to their maximum amount if you haven't particularly preset it to 30. So although the computer presets it to 30, because he's following somebody that's at 30, if you don't manually set it at 30, he will exceed that preset limit that the AI set him at. So if you just manually set him at 30, it should prevent him from snaking about. So we'll just keep an eye on it, see if it works. So I've got him manually preset at 29.7. Looks like the battleship in front is going 29.5. So we'll see if he rises above 29.7. As you saw then, he was increasing his speed, but then once he got to 29.7, he stopped increasing. If you hadn't have preset it yourself, he's more than likely going to have increased to 35 or whatever his max speed is, and then tried to slow back down again to fit in behind. So yeah, it looks like it worked then. We will keep an eye on it though, just to see. Yeah, 29.7. So by manually setting it yourself rather than letting the AI preset it, you make sure to stop the snaking effect happening. So unfortunately, I forgot that the enemy battlecruiser's got a 41 knot speed, which is just insane. It's going to take us a long time to damage him enough. Excuse me. Damaging enough to slow him down. So I think what I'm going to do is end the recording here and then pick back up at the end of the battle once it's once it's reached its conclusion, because you don't want to watch me chase down a 40 knot battlecruiser for the next 10 to 20 minutes. I assume you don't anyway. So their armoured cruiser decided to sail towards me, so we just took him out. So it's just a case of chasing down this battlecruiser now, which is going to take an absolute age. So if it gives me the opportunity to end the battle, then that's what I'll do. If not, then I'll catch you at the end of the battle. Well, we tried and we tried, and no matter how hard we tried, we just could not knock out his engines. So we're running out of time now. It's a shame, because it would have only taken one more bit of damage to these compartments to knock out his engines, and then we could have caught him, but sadly does not look like it's meant to be. Now, there's a slight possibility that they let us continue after the time goes down. I honestly don't know what the rules are for that. Sometimes it lets you continue, other times it doesn't, so it could possibly be if they've got a faster top speed than me, they get away. So I've got 30.5, he's got 34.2, so obviously he's faster. So we'll see in the next couple of minutes whether it does actually continue or not, because we're so close to knocking his engines out that as soon as we do, we'll be able to pounce on him and finish the job. So yeah, let's have a look. Watch this time. Well, time is continuing, and he has got a faster speed than me, so that's obviously not the stipulation for the time. So I wonder what is. Maybe it's got something to do with the mission type. In which case, it shouldn't even have a time limit if it's a mission type. But it is only early access, so they might just not have implemented it, forgot about it, or whatever. You just don't know with early access games whether something's done on purpose or by accident. So yeah, it looks like we are going to continue, and we might get the chance to catch up with him after all. In which case, I'll see you once we've caught up to him. Well, after an absolute eternity, I don't know how long, because the battle timer ended ages ago, and I haven't been keeping track of time. But it's been a long time, and I've finally taken out one of his engines. The problem is because he's a battlecruiser, he's got such good hull form that he's taking he's taking an age to slow down, because he's just carving through the water. But we are going to get there eventually. He seems to be slowing down. Well, maybe not. So yeah, we'll catch him eventually, but my goodness, this would have been about a, I don't know, 2-hour video. Luckily I've been doing some other things as well while I've been playing, so it hasn't been too painful for me. But yeah, my goodness, if you were simply just playing this battle, I mean really I should have just turned away and admitted that I couldn't win, because he had 41 knot speed, which was at least a 5 knot speed advantage over me. plus my battleship was obviously considerably slower than that, so 11 knot speed over my battleship. So yeah, I should have just admitted defeat or stalemate. But I was determined to chase him down. I knew eventually I was going to land something that would take out an engine. But yeah, I hadn't anticipated it on taking 2 hours, I have to admit. Luckily for you guys, I've edited all of that bit out, so you don't need to watch it. I'm pretty sure that would be enough to put anyone off from watching one of my videos ever again if I made them sit through 2 hours of chasing a battleship or a battle cruiser. So yeah, he's almost destroyed now. 26% structure damage, structure left, sorry, and he's gradually slowing down. I think he might have leveled off at 26 knots now. Yeah, it looks like it. So yeah, I'll pick up at the end for you, so you don't have to watch this tedious range closing. Well, yeah, it took a long time, but I've finally caught up to him. So he's still pretty dangerous. He's still got 8-inch guns that he's got ammo for, so I've still got to be careful. But at least we finally caught him now, so that's one more ship I don't have to chase down in the future. It would have been much better off trying to destroy him in a different combat scenario where he wasn't just fleeing from me, but I just wanted to see how long it would take, and yeah, it took a long time. It took a very long time. So he's got 14% structure damage. Now I can switch to AP if I want now, and see if I can get some flooding damage on these red compartments. So I don't know whether that's a quicker option to sink him, or if I'm better off just sticking to HG. So we'll have a look, see if we can flood some of these compartments. Then again, it looks like the guns that I'm using don't want to use AP anyway. Well, it looks like he wants to ram me. That's pretty rare. You don't often see the AI going in for a ram. unless it's because his rudder's damaged, so he's unable to turn. But yeah, we got there in the end. It took an eternity, but we got there. Happy days. I wonder how many of these battle cruisers they've got left. So I don't want to have to spend all my time just chasing after 41 knot battle cruisers. They've got 2 left, so I can always just ignore them if I want to. So that's a fairly easy fight, but a bit boring. So what I'll do is I'll probably skip that. See if I can find a more interesting fight to... Well, this isn't more interesting. They've only got 2 light cruisers, but they can do more damage to me with torpedoes than I can to them just killing 2 light cruisers. But we may as well do it. Makes a change. So as usual, I'm just going to use one ship to try and get them to shoot torpedoes at, to try and just get the torpedoes shot away from my battle line. I'm going to manually set the speed of these to 30, even though it says that they're only going 30, because the AI has set it, not me. They will exceed that amount. So to prevent them from snaking, I'll manually set it to 30. Let's have a look, see what the range is of these torpedoes. Yeah, so I'm already in danger range. I'll start making a movement with them. They might have already shot, I don't know. We'll soon find out though as this armoured cruiser gets closer. Bad time for me to look away. So obviously, with them being so outnumbered, they're just going to run away, but that makes perfect sense. Just unfortunately makes for a boring battle. This is always going to be the problem that the campaign mode suffers with, is fights that are not even, and so the enemy's just going to run away. I mean, there's no point in programming them to just come towards you, because that's just unrealistic, getting them to sail to their doom. But yeah, it doesn't provide for an interesting fight, sadly. So I'm going to have to be careful here, because I've strayed into torpedo range. So when I do my challenge run, looks like he's possibly fired at me now. When I do my challenge run of realism mode, there is a chance that I'm going to get hit with a lot of torpedoes, because I won't know what range they are. So like here, I've been able to stay just outside of the range with the battleships. But if I was doing realism mode and not knowing what range they are, I can very easily put myself at a lot of risk. So I'm going to have to be a little bit clever about where I position my ships. It's going to be a big challenge. I've got a feeling that this... Oh, he hasn't shot yet. I was going to say this ship might have shot towards the battleships, but he hasn't shot at all. So now he's shot towards my armoured cruiser. I can just make a little bit of a evasive manoeuvre. So I'm going to try and head towards him and take him out before he reloads. So I am being extra cautious on this battle, obviously, but I don't want to risk my big ships getting torpedoed completely unnecessarily when I can just win the battle with a single ship. Just seems like an unnecessary risk to me. So he's getting close to reloading, which is obviously a bit of a problem. Might just head away slightly. Well, he seems intent on facing away from me so he can't fire his torpedoes, which makes it challenging for me to get into a position to destroy him quickly while not getting under threat by his torpedoes. I have also got to make sure he doesn't fire them towards my battle line that's closing in. Really, I might be better off using HE with this armoured cruiser, but I just want to sink him. I feel like I'm in serious danger here. It just seems to me like this is not a good scenario to be in. Well, he's fired off his 5-deck, quintuple deck, and now he's fired off towards the battlecruiser. That was what I was worried about. So I've been a bit lucky there. Wonder if that's going to count. Right, there we go. Not a very fun battle, but there you go. 13,000 damage on Dover. Let's have a look at how big Dover is. Yeah. So it's not as big as Portsmouth, that's why I only got 13 instead of 40. Or so I think, anyway. So we're going to call it a day on this one, guys. So thanks for watching. Take care, and I'll see you soon.